So how does the people know about your product? Your product may be very good, and you wish the best for the consumer through your product, through your service. But how do they relate with your product? Your product needs an identity, and that identity is called branding. It is through the brand that the people understand what you're selling, its quality, and it's a brand that the people remember, perhaps more than the comfort of buying your product. It allows them to communicate to each other the value of your product with reference to your brand. So the brand is a very important identity, and many times the brand itself is evaluated as brand value, and in a merger or in a takeover, it is considered as very valuable to estimate the value of the brand, the way the consumers perceive the value of the brand, because it takes a long time to bring an impression about your product, about your brand, about your identity in the mind of a consumer. You have invested in increasing the recall value of the brand. The brand can be just a name, a symbol associated with the name called a logo, maybe a tagline that tells something more about your product, maybe a color identifying with your product, maybe a shape. There are multiple ways to establish a brand, and there is an extension of the brand, and that is the people. Perhaps they wear a uniform of the same color, and by which the consumer understands that these people are supported by a specific brand that is associated with that uniform, with that color, with that logo embroidered on their pockets. Or it could be the furniture in the office that speaks a lot about the brand, about the excellence, about the quality of the brand. Can be an experience by itself. Like, for example, if you are using a car, the test drive value could tell you something about the brand. It could have the same experience as when you go to a showroom. And so there are multiple ways to establish a brand. Ideally, the consumer's communication or his interaction with your product, any touch point of the product must speak volumes about the brand. So this is all about the brand, and it's very important to protect the reputation of the brand. The brand will give a sense of predictability, dependability, and credibility to your product. People have faith in a brand. It makes it easier for them to communicate to each other by word of mouth. If they wish so to promote your product, you are making it easier for them to promote your product by establishing a brand. The brand can be made ubiquitous. That means it can be made a universal or a generic name that the people start associating the product with its name identity, with its brand identity. So these are the values of having a brand. It is very important to invest in a brand. It is very important to protect. It is very important to learn to protect the reputation of the brand. And all the staff, whether it is in the factory, it is in the interfacing with the consumers, it is in the clerical department, archiving department, accounts department, finance department, probably all of them should understand the culture of the brand that you are attempting to promote, or their words that they speak, the way that they speak, the way that they interact, their behaviors can all be aligned to talk about the brand value, about the branding. So if there's a cohesive approach of all the tens of thousands of people who are backing your product in your company, right from production through the assembly line, through sales, through ultimate consumption, or even through procurement through vendors, or the procurement of raw materials, through the entire the cycle, if there is a common thread, then that common thread should be revolving around a central brand value. So it is up to you to establish a brand, to create a brand, and to relate to the importance of having a brand. It's not only a symbol, a logo, a name, a color, a shape, but it's also a behavior, it's also the product quality and the excellence. And after sales experience also, the after sales services all need to be aligned. here the emphasis on how to align all touch points of your product to centralize on the brand value.